Ladies and gentlemen, there comes a moment in every life when the soul whispers, "This is not who I truly am." You may feel stuck, tired, distracted, expectations, lost in routines that numb your spirit and dull your fire. But I want to tell you today, silence creates clarity because in the absence of noise, the mind has space to observe itself. In our daily lives, we are constantly bombarded with input, notifications, conversations, background chatter, expectations, endless scrolling, and mental overthinking. This constant flow of stimulation leaves little room for reflection. Without silence, we are not living. We are reacting. The mind becomes clouded, restless, and fragmented. But when we introduce intentional silence into our day, even for a few minutes, we create a sacred space where awareness can emerge. In silence there is no need to perform, to impress, or to respond. There is only the presence of now. And it is in this present moment that clarity becomes available. When we sit in silence, we begin to notice the movement of our thoughts. We become aware of how fast they jump from one topic to another, how they carry emotions, judgments, and assumptions. Silence gives us the chance to observe this process without getting pulled into it. It is like standing on a riverbank and watching the water flow, instead of being swept away by the current. Through consistent practice, expectations, silence teaches us to separate who we are from what we think. It allows us to witness the noise rather than become the noise. This clarity leads to better decisions. In a noisy mind we often act impulsively or make choices out of fear, anxiety, or insecurity. But a quiet mind sees more clearly. It can recognize truth from illusion, essential from unimportant, and priority from distraction. Silence aligns us with our inner wisdom, that intuitive voice that often gets drowned out by the external world. It is the source of true insight, the kind that doesn't come from overthinking, but from still knowing. Silence also restores energy. Constant engagement with noise is exhausting, even when we don't realize it. Our nervous system is always on alert, processing input, reacting emotionally, trying to maintain a sense of control. But in silence, the body relaxes, the breath deepens, and the nervous system resets. This restoration is not just physical but emotional. Expectations. We begin to feel grounded, we begin to feel whole again. Practicing silence does not always mean sitting in meditation. Expectations. It can be walking in nature without music, doing chores without distractions, or simply watching your breath for a few moments during the day. Expectations. The key is intentional withdrawal from stimulation. It's in these quiet pockets that breakthroughs often occur. A solution to a long-standing problem arises. Expectations. A new direction becomes obvious. A feeling long ignored surfaces to be healed. In a world that glorifies constant motion, silence is a radical act of self-care. It's not an escape from life but a return to it. The more we sit in silence, expectations, the more we realize how much noise we can live without. Clarity is not something we find. It is something that emerges when we stop clouding our inner sky. Silence is not empty. It is full of answers. And the greatest clarity often comes not when we seek it, but when we allow it. Expectations. Move your body with purpose because the body is not just a physical structure. It is the vehicle through which your mind, energy, and spirit express themselves. When you move your body intentionally, you're not simply engaging in exercise. You are cultivating discipline, sharpening focus, and aligning yourself with presence. Purposeful movement is a way of training the body to obey direction, and in doing so, expectations, it teaches the mind to follow discipline. Every action taken with awareness builds mental strength alongside physical strength. In modern life, we often move reactively, out of stress, obligation, or convenience. We sit too long, we rush without awareness, and we treat the body as a tool to carry us, not a temple to serve us. But when we begin to move with purpose, through martial arts, yoga, walking, expectations, strength training, or even breathing exercises, we begin a relationship with ourselves that is grounded in respect and intention. We begin to feel what it means to be fully present in the body. That presence transfers into every other part of life. Purposeful movement builds consistency. Expectations. It is not about intensity, but about showing up every day. When you move even when you don't feel like it. Expectations. You teach yourself that your mind does not always need to agree for your actions to be powerful. You override laziness and create a rhythm of progress. And in that rhythm, your confidence grows. You see change. Not just physically, but mentally. You start believing in your ability to follow through, to endure, to push forward when it's uncomfortable. The body is also a powerful communicator. It stores emotions, trauma, and tension, expectations. Moving with purpose becomes a tool for release. When you stretch with awareness or strike with precision or hold a pose with focus, expectations, you're not just exercising muscle, you're reshaping your relationship with pain, with resistance, and with limits. Expectations, you begin to see that discomfort is not a punishment but a gateway to growth. Each repetition becomes a message to the selfing. I am not here to give up, I am here to evolve. Moreover, how you move reflects how you live. If you move sloppily, without awareness, you may also speak and think without clarity. But when your movement is intentional, strong, and controlled, you begin to bring that same awareness into conversations, decisions, and relationships. The body becomes a mirror, and how you train it becomes how you train your life. A strong, grounded body helps build a strong, grounded mind. Moving with purpose is not about seeking perfection. It's about honoring the fact that you are alive, that you have the ability to shape your energy, expectations, to build resilience, to become more than you were yesterday. It is not about results, it is about respect. When you move with awareness, expectations, you remember that discipline is freedom, and that each moment spent honoring your body brings you closer to your highest self. Expectations. Train and guard your mind because it is the source of everything you experience. Every action you take, every emotion you feel, expectations, every word you speak begins first in the mind. If your mind is untrained, it will wander, react, judge, and fear without control. It will pull you away from clarity and push you into chaos. But if your mind is trained, it becomes your greatest ally. Sharp, focused, calm, and resilient. The mind is like a blade. Left unattended, it rusts. Sharpened with discipline, it cuts through confusion. Most people guard their homes, phones, expectation, and money more carefully than they guard their thoughts. They allow negativity, doubt, fear, and distraction to enter without resistance. Expectations. But just as you wouldn't let a stranger walk into your house and rearrange your furniture, expectations, you should not let every thought settle in your mind without awareness. Training your mind means choosing what you focus on, what you let in, expectations, and what you let go. It means noticing your internal dialogue and questioning whether it serves your highest self or sabotages it. A trained mind is not free of problems, but it knows how to face them with stability. It doesn't panic easily. It doesn't collapse under pressure. It remains still like a mountain in the wind. That stability is built by doing small things consistently. Sitting in silence, observing your thoughts, reading ideas that stretch your perspective, questioning automatic reactions, and replacing them with conscious responses. Expectations. Every time you take charge of your mental state instead of being controlled by it, you are training your mind. Expectations. To guard the mind means being selective about your environment, not just the physical space, but the digital space and emotional space as well. Expectations. The conversations you engage in, the content you consume, the people you spend time with. All of it either pollutes your mind or purifies it. Expectations. Guarding your mind is not about avoiding the world, but about not allowing the world to dictate your peace. Expectations. You take what strengthens you and leave what drains you. Training the mind is also about developing inner discipline. You don't chase every distraction or act on every impulse. You learn to sit with discomfort instead of escaping it. You delay gratification when needed. Expectations. Because you understand that long-term fulfillment is more valuable than short-term pleasure. This discipline turns into strength. Expectations. It helps you hold your vision even when circumstances try to shake it. You no longer live on autopilot. You live with awareness and direction. Expectations. When your mind is strong, your circumstances matter less. You can adapt, rebuild, and create new paths. You stop blaming the world and start taking ownership of your choices. And in this ownership, you find power. The power to transform your mindset, your habits, your energy, and eventually your life. The mind is both your battlefield and your temple, and it becomes whatever you train it to be. A mind that is trained and protected is a mind that creates peace in the middle of storms. Seek discomfort to grow because comfort, while pleasant, is rarely where transformation takes place. Growth is born in friction, in the unfamiliar, in the challenging, in the moments that stretch you beyond what you think you can handle. Discomfort is not your enemy. It is your invitation. Expectations. It's the boundary between who you are now and who you are capable of becoming. Every time you avoid discomfort, you delay your own evolution, expectations, but when you choose to step into it, you begin to awaken a deeper strength that comfort will never teach you. Discomfort shows up in many forms. Waking up early, training your body when it's tired, speaking your truth when your voice shakes, expectations, breaking patterns that keep you small, letting go of what no longer serves you. It's the pain of change, the burn of discipline, the awkwardness of learning something new. Most people run from these experiences, mistaking discomfort for danger. But discomfort is not a threat, expectations. It is a mirror. It reveals the areas where you've settled, where you've become passive, where you've built walls instead of bridges, expectations. It reflects your fear, and through that reflection, it gives you the opportunity to overcome it. When you seek discomfort intentionally, you take back your power. You stop waiting for life to force growth upon you through crisis or failure. Instead, you walk willingly into challenge, expectations. This doesn't mean being reckless or dramatic. It means doing the hard things that your comfort zone resists. Pushing your limits. Having the difficult conversations. Saying no when it's easier to say yes. Saying yes when fear begs you to say no. These are the moments that forge character, expectations. There's a quiet confidence that grows when you willingly face what's difficult. You start to trust yourself in a different way, expectations. You no longer fear failure because you've learned that failure is simply part of the discomfort that leads to mastery. You begin to realize that pain is not permanent, and fear is not final. What was once intimidating becomes familiar. What was once impossible becomes natural, expectations. Through discomfort, you develop resilience, the kind that doesn't fade when things get hard, but sharpens, expectations. Discomfort also reconnects you with the present moment. When things are easy, we coast. But when we are challenged, we focus, expectations. There is no room for distraction when you're lifting something heavy, confronting your fear, or pursuing something meaningful. Discomfort pulls you into your body, your heartbeat, into the here and now. And in the now, there is no past to regret and no future to fear. There is only the opportunity to grow. Those who avoid discomfort remain trapped in cycles of limitation. But those who walk through it, again and again, become unshakable. They expand their capacity, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. Each challenge becomes a stepping stone to the next level of self-mastery. The discomfort never disappears, but your relationship with it changes. You stop resisting it. You begin to respect it, and with time, you begin to seek it. Not because you enjoy the pain, expectations, but because you understand that this is how true growth is born. Expectations. Protect your energy and environment, because your inner state is constantly being shaped by what surrounds you. You are not isolated from the world. You are influenced by every sound you hear, every face you see, every word you speak, and every thought you absorb. Energy is not infinite, expectations. It is a limited resource that must be guarded with awareness and intention. When you allow anything, anyone to enter your space without boundaries, you give away your peace, focus and power piece by piece. Protecting your energy is not selfish. It is essential to maintain clarity, strength, expectations, and direction in your life. Your environment is more than just the physical space around you. It includes the people you interact with, the content you consume, the emotions you absorb, and the habits you reinforce. A chaotic, negative, or stagnant environment drains your energy silently. You may feel exhausted, unfocused, anxious, or uninspired without realizing it is the result of your surroundings feeding your mind and spirit with noise, expectations. The wrong environment makes it harder to think clearly, act purposefully, or stay aligned with your values. But a clean, calm, and intentional environment becomes a container for growth, reflection, and peace. The people you keep close to you either elevate your energy or drain it. Words, attitudes, and behaviors are powerful transmitters. When you spend time with people who complain, gossip, criticize, or project fear, expectations, you begin to carry their energy as your own. You start thinking their thoughts, feeling their heaviness, and doubting your own path, expectations. But when you choose to be around people who challenge you, support you, and inspire you to grow, your energy rises. Your confidence increases. Your goals feel closer. Who you surround yourself with is not a casual decision. It is a declaration of who you are becoming. Protecting your energy also means protecting your time. Not every invitation needs to be accepted. Not every notification needs to be checked. Expectations. You must be willing to say no to things that do not align with your purpose, even when they are convenient or familiar. Expectations. Boundaries are not walls. They are filters. They don't block connection, they protect your priorities. Without boundaries, your day is shaped by other people's agendas. With boundaries, your life is shaped by your vision. Your energy is also impacted by your daily habits. The food you eat, the sleep you get, the movement you allow, and the content you absorb are all forms of energy exchange. Junk input creates junk output. But when you nourish your body, rest your mind, and consume information with awareness, your energy becomes cleaner, lighter, and more focused. You feel more like yourself. You become harder to shake. Expectations. To protect your energy is to value your life force. To acknowledge that how you feel every day matters. Expectations. It is a commitment to being selective with what you allow into your space, so that what grows within you is not chaos, but clarity. Expectations. It is a way of honoring your inner world so that your outer world begins to reflect that peace. Expectations. Live with purpose beyond self, because the deepest fulfillment in life does not come from what you achieve, but from what you contribute. Expectations. When your actions are only centered around personal gain, success may arrive, but meaning often does not. Expectations. There is a part of every human being that longs to serve something greater, to feel that their existence is connected to a larger whole. Living with purpose beyond self transforms ordinary tasks into acts of service and turns personal growth into a gift for the world. Expectations. When you live only for yourself, your goals become limited by your own desires. You measure life through status, comfort, or recognition. Expectations. But when the purpose is bigger than your ego, everything you do gains weight and direction. Even your struggles become meaningful. Expectations. Because you endure not just for your own survival but to be of value to others. You become more resilient, because your reason to keep going is rooted in impact, not just outcome. Living beyond self does not mean ignoring your needs or losing your individuality. Expectations. It means realizing that your growth, your healing, and your strength are not only for you. They are tools you sharpen so you can better serve, uplift, and guide. A strong person who helps no one becomes a closed container. A strong person who gives light becomes a vessel of change. Your presence, your words, expectations, your energy, all of them have the power to influence those around you, even in ways you don't always see. When your purpose includes others, you also rise above petty distractions. You no longer chase empty validation, because you are grounded in something deeper. You begin to think long-term, not just about what feels good now, but what builds a legacy. Whether it's teaching, mentoring, creating, or simply being a stable example, living with purpose beyond self gives you clarity. It simplifies decisions, expectations, because your actions are measured against whether they serve your greater mission or not. This way of living also dissolves isolation. Expectations. Many people suffer because they feel disconnected from others. But when you live in service of a greater purpose, you reconnect. You realize that the pain you have overcome can become a source of healing for others. The lessons you have learned can become a roadmap. Your time, attention, and presence can become medicine for those who are struggling. You stop asking, "What can I get?" and start asking, "How can I give?" And in that shift, you discover that giving fills you in ways taking never could. True purpose has no finish line. It is not found in titles or wealth, but in how deeply you have shown up for life itself. It exists in how you treat people, how you carry yourself, expectations, how you respond to difficulty, and how much light you bring into dark places. When you live beyond self, expectations, life stops being about accumulation and becomes about contribution. Expectations. You don't need to save the world. You only need to show up each day with the intention to serve, to lift, and to leave things better than you found them.